everybody, and welcome to another episode of Andrew Reviews. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I guess it's time to do one. And today, I'm taking a look at something that honestly I love with a passion. Yes, today I'm taking a look at Webtoons. Now, what the hell is Webtoons exactly, you ask? Oh, I'm glad. See, a while back when I was surfing YouTube, I'd say a couple years ago, I kept seeing ads placed before video for an app called Webtoons. I had no idea what the hell this thing was, but now I know. Webtoons is a comic-based app for your Android, I'm assuming iOS, and browsers. Yes, that's right. Not only can you view these comics on the official app that's available in the Google Play Store, I'm pretty sure it's on iOS, but don't quote me. But you can also check it out in your local browser by going to their official website. What makes this so great, you ask? Well, this app system site is so freaking amazing. Look, when I sit down to read a comic book, first off, I enjoy the series that are on here, but I am mostly a fan of manga. Why? Well, because I'm a fan of manga. But that doesn't mean that I don't like good, wholesome series along the way. And Webtoons has a crap ton of those, from Tower of God, to Let's Play, to Super Secret, to Hardcore Leveling Warrior, to so many others. Even The Gamer, The God of High School, you name it, Webtoons has it. There's a genre for just about everything your heart can imagine. That's right, multiple genres. It's a great experience for you. And the best part is, if you subscribe to it, you can actually store a subscription list for your favorite series to keep track of when the new ones drop. Each new episode, as they call them, can drop from week to week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes once a week. I know some of the series that I followed were certain times a week and then changed periodically. So far, only one series that I've read has actually concluded that's in my favorite list, and that's Super Secret. One of the three that I want to talk about today. So, what is Super Secret? Well, it's a love story, and by God is it a special one. Figure it this way. Have you ever heard of Twilight? Good. Take all the good stuff about Twilight, you know, the romance, the loveness, the fact that the two characters actually cared for each other. Take out all the BS that it's spewed in your face for half a dozen years. And then what you're left with, sprinkle on a little touch sheet of cartoon antics, and you got yourself Super Secret. Basically, the plot of it is simple. Ryan is the kid next door. His friend Emma is the girl next door. Ryan likes Emma, but Emma ends up going out with somebody else. But she does kind of like Ryan too. They've been childhood friends after all for so long. So why does Ryan get jealous of the fact that she starts going out with this other guy? Well, because he likes her. And he's got a secret. He's a werewolf. Yeah, wolf anyway. But it's not the only weird thing. See, his entire family is a bunch of monsters. His one sister is a witch. He's got another sister that's basically becoming a nine-tailed fox. By the end of the series, she's up to 2 tails. That should tell you something. His mom and dad are even monsters. Hell, they're part of an organization that are basically monsters. Of which his mom has some very open thoughts of how they practice what they preach. I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, the story basically goes that Ryan wants to fall in love with Emma and tell her how he feels, but he's too nervous about doing it. He sees himself more as an older brother to her and is afraid that if she doesn't like him the way that he likes her, that entire relationship will be ruined, and he doesn't want to ruin that because she's a klutz and a ditz without him. The story progresses over time with the advent of new characters, including fan favorite, what the hell was the freaking vampire's name? Julian Juan or something? I don't know, started with a J. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, because he basically plays an intricate role with Emma's best friend, And that story goes nowhere anyway. Well, except for the fact that we find out that he basically was dating really chubby people, but slowly was sucking their life essence out of them, making them skinny, while sustaining himself until they got to the point where if he sucked any more out, he would be killing them, and then hence dump their ass. So, honestly, what's the downside of this guy's power again? Let's see. He gives somebody self-confidence that they probably already didn't have. He basically helps them become a better person, and because he's afraid he'll end up killing them with his power, he stops seeing them. Okay, cool. We'll go with that. There's also another sort of wolf-like creature. That's the one that dates Emma. That pisses Ryan off. And he's your quintessential jackass. But he's part of a massive family high up in the organization. And yeah, we're just going to call crap on him. He doesn't want to do much of anything, but he will help bail some people out at the end because you need to shoehorn him in somehow. But either way, it's still a good story. Basically, the whole thing goes about it's a love story. It lasts for so long. Eventually, Ryan does confess his feelings to Emma. Emma reciprocates the same feelings. They start going out. But then the organization intervenes again because they want to put a pissing match in place. Basically, they say that Ryan can't do this. Ryan's parents don't see there being a problem because there has to be a contract. And the contract's eventually figured out. They have to fake Emma being part animal to get her out of a trap the organization set. Ryan, at the end of the series, has to be drafted into the organization's, well, you can call them Secret Service, if you will, for X amount of years. However, because of the fact that he made a contract with Emma that she needs to be there at least once a year to renew, she has to be taken to him so that she can renew the contract with him once a year. And that's where the story ends, with her laying her head down on his lap, and basically them having a tender sharing moment. And thus the story ends in a really wonderful way. I love this story, and I really hope it would ever get a sequel. But you know what? I loved it. It was perfect. It was great. Kudos to the creator, Eon, for it. I love this story. You did a wonderful job. Now on to another one that I like, though, from this app. Well, that would be Hardcore Leveling Warrior. This one's really cool. How do you go from the biggest, baddest, high-tier ranker of all? You go up against a glitch in the game that kicks your ass back down to level 1. And that's what happens to poor Ethan, who has to now live his life as the lowest of the low, trying to get back up to the highest of the high. However, there's a downside, because in the game Lucid Adventure, which only works if you're asleep, you have to be awake then at some point. And for Ethan, he's part of a group of people that borrowed money from the wrong person and now has to pay them back. And so he's basically in a what you would like to call jail cell of sorts, until he can get back up to the highest of the high, where he can then be allowed to regain what was his. This is still currently going on, by the way, so I can't spoil Season 2, but I can tell you about Season 1. And Season 1 was amazingly good. The entire story goes with the side of Dark, who's one of the characters that wants to try to complete Lucid Adventure because his grandfather created it. However, all along the way, they are met up with a few other characters, including Dark's friend Heart Heater, which is a really cool, badass character, and Sora, someone who knew Hardcore Leveling Warrior. So they end up teaming up, making their own team, attempting to do other things, get higher up, stop Giga, which is an organization within the game that's trying to control the game, but failing miserably at it, even though they have an iron grip on everything. And eventually learn some new powers, some new skills, and participate in the PvP round. And what is that? Well, it's a gigantic tournament set up by the gods of the world, because they want to see which one's the strongest and who's going to rule over this world, since their creator is basically dying. and everything would be going well except for one problem. There's a thing called Nightmare that's infecting the game. Ethan has been able to use the Nightmare power a couple times, including once on an extremely hard level boss, to which the actual God of War shows up then and tells him, yeah, here, let me heal you up. By the way, don't ever use that power again. It's technically considered cheating, but I'm going to turn a blind eye because that was a badass battle. And walks away. However, because Ethan at some point sadly ends up making a deal with the devil, literally the guy who has him imprisoned he makes a deal with, that he has to kill Dark before the PvP round, well, before the finals. He refuses, attempting to actually try to win it, which activates the contract ability that was locked onto him, thus killing him. And since he was pretty high up, he's back to level 1. How does he fix this? By having Dark use his time travel power, which he can manipulate time on a character by resetting them, with a giant, literal turnkey like you would have on old tin toys, and returns him back to the badass days of the #1 ranker, where he pretty much just flat out levels Giga in one fell swoop. And that was the final round. Not to mention the fact that they went up against multiple other rounds, including one where they took on the Nightmare form of Hardcore Leveling Warrior's former love interest, Arms. Yeah, there was that too. Ah, that series is good. And Season 2 is even better. But if you're not into ass-kicking, but you still like the video game aspect, don't worry. There's another romance story that has you right up its sleeve. And it's called Let's Play. You see, this is the story of Sam, a up-and-coming game developer, and her annoying neighbor who just moved in by the name of Marshall. Marshall is also the greatest ViewTuber ever existing. Yeah, I think his name's Marshall Law, and he basically reviews games. So, what does that have to do with this? Well, he reviews Sam's game RuneMate, which she had made and dedicated to him, but because Captain No Nuts decides, hey, I'm just gonna blow the crap out of this game, try to take it on like a regular RPG, and it sucks, he badmouths the game, much to Sam's dismay. Then, because his fans are loyal dweebs, as they are, decide to pretty much ruin Sam's reputation on the indie gaming site that the game was hosted on, thus preventing her from even being able to upload another game. This is bad, as Sam wanted to be a game developer, but now she can't. And she's heartbroken by this turn of events. But all's not lost. Eventually, Sam is confronted by her friends, her colleagues, her teammates in a game that she plays, her little dog Bowser with his little princess doll, which, honestly, Bowser's the cutest thing in that entire series, I'm not going to lie. But, in all honesty, the series is good, and it's worth a read if you get a chance. But there's also many other series, other than the 3 I've just mentioned. There's Tower of God, there's The Gamer, there's so many others. And this site has a tremendous amount going for it. The app, the site, everything's good. There's even a YouTube channel because they've been putting up some animated clips. If you want to check out the animated form of Let's Play, it's actually up. Granted, it's like 12 episodes long, and honestly, it would make a decent anime if they ever would get around to giving that one a shot. Though I think Mongi, the series creator, might be a little overwhelmed, seeing as she just recently hurt her wrist as of the time of this recording, and has it in the upper portion of each of the videos. Please excuse the artwork for my series right now. I'm recovering from a wrist injury, which, by the way, Mongi, if you're listening to this video, honestly, there's no difference in the art. You're still just as good, even with a wrist injury. Hell, you're better than I am, and I have just barely managed to be able to draw an anime girl face. I'm not even joking. I need to work on the male face now. See, I'm going from head down lower over time. It's a work in progress, basically. I know, but that's just how my brain's functioning to work. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say about this. This site and app have a lot going for it. There's different genres, there's different ideas. You can leave comments, You can pretty much add stuff to your own subscription to basically have more on. They even run contests to give you the shot every now and then of uploading your work and becoming one of the main artists on this entire platform. And it's a wonderful way for potential artists to go out there and really show what they can do. I love this site. I recently found out I can read them all online on their actual site. I knew they had a site. I just didn't know I could read it all on the site. But I love the app. I love the site. If you get a chance, check this out. It's called Webtoons. It's highly worth it. I highly recommend it. I can't stress that enough. Different genres, different settings, different comics. Everything's great. Granted, the art's different depending on which one you go for. But hey, it's all great in the end. But that's all the time I have for today. So until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Reviews.